Deep beneath the quaint old house lay a forgotten and foreboding basement. It had always been a place of whispers and unsettling tales, but one family, the Andersons, had recently moved in, oblivious to the horrors that awaited them. As they settled into their new home, the basement became a space seldom ventured. The air down there felt heavy, suffused with an inexplicable darkness. Mrs. Anderson, curious by nature, couldn't resist the urge to explore its secrets. Ignoring the cautionary whispers of her husband, she descended the creaking wooden stairs, the soft glow of a flashlight illuminating her path. As her steps echoed in the dimly lit chamber, an overwhelming sense of unease washed over her. The walls were damp, adorned with decaying wallpaper peeling off like flesh from bone. Shadows danced menacingly, their movements defying the meager light. Just as Mrs. Anderson's nerves reached their breaking point, a chilling breeze brushed against her cheek. It whispered with a voice dripping in malice, urging her to leave. Ignoring the warning, she pressed forward, determined to uncover the secrets hidden in this dark abyss. In a far corner of the basement, a weathered door beckoned her. With trembling hands, she reached out and turned the rusted handle. The door creaked open, revealing a room filled with forgotten artifacts and disturbing relics. Dust-laden photographs, tattered journals, and cracked porcelain dolls stared at her with empty eyes, their presence suffocating. Mrs. Anderson's heart skipped a beat as she noticed a particular journal, its pages yellowed with age. Her curiosity got the better of her as she flicked through its cryptic entries, uncovering tales of occult rituals and mysterious disappearances. The basement, it seemed, had been a place of dark experimentation and unspeakable horrors. In the midst of her discovery, a malevolent presence awakened. The air turned icy, and whispers grew louder, crawling into her ears like tiny serpents. Shadows twisted and writhed, forming sinister shapes that seemed to mock her existence. Panic set in, and she desperately sought an escape. But the basement had other plans. The door slammed shut, trapping Mrs. Anderson in its suffocating grasp. The walls seemed to close in, squeezing the air out of her lungs. Her frantic screams echoed in the chamber, unheard by the world above. As the hours turned into an eternity, Mrs. Anderson descended into madness. The darkness consumed her sanity, taunting her with grotesque illusions. The walls pulsed with a malevolent energy, feeding on her fear and despair. Meanwhile, Mr. Anderson, growing increasingly worried about his wife's absence, decided to venture into the basement. As he descended the stairs, dread filled his heart, for he felt the oppressive presence that lurked within. His steps faltered, but his love for his wife pushed him forward. In the heart of the basement, he found her, a hollow shell of her former self. Her eyes, once full of life, stared blankly into the abyss. He called out to her, pleading for her return, but she was lost to the darkness forever. Terrified, Mr. Anderson tried to escape the basement, only to realize that its grip was unyielding. The malevolent force laughed at his feeble attempts, savoring his anguish. The walls closed in, squeezing the life out of him, until he too became a haunting memory trapped within the confines of the basement. Years later, a new family moved into the house, unaware of the tragic events that had unfolded. The basement remained a place of dread, its secrets hidden from prying eyes. Whispers of the Andersons' fate circulated amongst the locals, cautioning them against the dark abyss that lay beneath the house. For in that basement, time stood still, and the spirits of the trapped souls lingered, forever seeking release from their eternal torment.